Hi, I'm John Jacobson.
And I'm Michelle Madison.
And we have a podcast called Video Game Outsiders. And today we're going to review something that we've both had a chance to use for a while here, for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
We both have been using the Razer Death Adder. Well, I have the Chroma mouse. You have the static.
I have I have the old school Death Adder mouse that I've had for years. But I've been eyeing the Chroma one because now that we both have the Razer Firefly mouse pad, which we're going to talk about,
right,
which is Chroma as well,
and when
kind of all syncs together.
Right, and when we say Chroma, it's basically they have this color-changing like LED that's inside the mouse and inside this mouse pad that can cycle through colors, or you can set it to static colors and all that stuff. It's kind of neat, but previously they just had it stuck to a static color, like you'd buy the red one, right, or the blue one.
Yes, well, I also have the Razer Black Widow Ultimate keyboard, which is a static blue as well, and they make a Chroma version, so I've been wanting that. But then I say, do I really want to get this keyboard just because it changes colors? But it is kind of cool because there's software that goes along with it, and you can kind of connect all of the devices instantly and just sort of set the color schemes for everything and make them interact, make them breathe, make them change colors. But that's not really why I wanted to try the mouse pad. I didn't really even want it for the lights. I wanted it because it's hard surface, and I had never tried one before. And I know you kind of have feelings about it.
Yeah, I don't like hard.
You don't like it at all. Okay.
Well, I have a lot of bracelets and stuff, and
okay.
And it's just, it's really abrasive, like.
There's a lot of dudes with bracelets.
There's a lot of friction going on, is what I'm getting at here. Because
I'm a high sensitivity person, so I actually like it because it allows me to jack the sensitivity up even more and even be faster, with the Surface. And I like how it's so low profile that it almost feels like it's an extension of my desk, and that I can actually feel smoother and faster on it. I don't have bracelets that I wear, especially while gaming. So for me, I like it a lot.
That's why I don't like the mouse pad, because I feel like I'm just on my desk with the mouse.
Right.
Which I've never liked. I like to having that kind of soft neoprene, mouse paddy material.
Yeah.
And I just don't want to be on my desk, and that's how that feels. But so the Firefly hard gaming mouse mat. I mean, the real appeal. Well, it's twofold, right? It's the lights. It has these lights around the perimeter that change colors, which does look pretty cool. I have to admit, right?
Right.
But doesn't it add some kind of extra sensitivity layer to the...
Well, I mean, there's some interactivity with the mouse and stuff. Like you could make it light up when you click it. You can track all your mouse clicks and mouse positions to kind of things like that. But I mean, when it came down to it, I was more curious to try it because of the hard surface and because of the lights. I know people are love-hate with Razer. A lot of people hate them and say they've had problems with their products and their quality control. I have been fortunate enough, and it could be just anecdotal information, but I've been fortunate enough to have stuff that I've had for years that I've beaten the shit out of, and I haven't had anything break on it. But what some people do is they buy the really thin Razer mouse pads and they roll them out over these Firefly ones if they don't like the hard surface.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But that hard surface, like I'm reading like the bullet points on Amazon, it's Razer Firefly features a hard micro-textured finish that gives you pinpoint accuracy and effortless. I mean, is this making...
Well, I did like it immediately, and then I swapped back to my other mouse pad that I had, and I could feel very sluggish. But that could just be a matter of that it's a hard surface. My one complaint is if you get anything on it, be it like a little crumb or a fiber or anything like that, and you can almost feel like a scrape on your mouse pad because it's like hard surface to hard surface, because it is made to sort of interact with the mouse, with Razer mice especially, because they do have the little feet patties and the sliders on the bottom. Although any mouse would work with it, but I kind of had like a little something on it, a little grit on it, and it almost felt like I was like grinding sand under it, and I had to pick it off, and that's something you wouldn't notice on a soft mouse pad. So, I was almost worried it was doing damage to like the plastic underside of my mouse. So be very careful if you're somebody who eats by your computer or has like, stuff or falling out of your bracelets. John, I don't even know what kind of bracelets you're wearing, but yeah, anything scrapey, like it's just kind of, it's different. It's not something you can just kind of, I don't know, you will notice it. I think it's like a big change, but for me it was a good change because I felt like I was speedier, which is something I like to do when I'm gaming. I like high sensitivity and a lot of movement.
So let's talk about the chroma feature, because that's kind of the big draw here. And according to Razer, there's 16.8 million colors that this thing can display, and a myriad of customizable lighting effects. Now, the lighting effect I liked was the spectrum cycling.
Yeah,
where it kind of just
a little weird and trippy.
It cycles through all these colors. Yeah, you're right. It looks like it should be in some dorm room or something with a bong next to it, right?
I know, and there's a lot of people, like I said, who just hate Razer stuff and just hate like lights on stuff too. But I think that like pictures don't do it justice. Like you can really go in and you can adjust the brightness of it, and it doesn't have to be this bright, obnoxious. It can just be like a warm, soft glow for your gaming area, which I really like. So it's not going to annoy people around you. It's not going to like blind you, like I said. So you have the ability to really tinker with it, and that's what I like the customization.
And it looks like futuristic because the light, it's almost like it's the mouse pad's hovering above the light. If that makes sense, right? It kind of just comes out and goes out to the sides.
And there's a lot of Chroma apps you can get. You can get ones where it interacts with your music and it kind of flashes and so there's stuff you can really do if you're into it, and set up crazy profiles for games. Like I was playing Overwatch and immediately my mouse pad, if you have it selected, it will swap over and turn like orangey for Overwatch's colors. And then when you're on a certain character, like I was on Lucio, my mouse pad turned green, and I was on Mercy, it turned white. So it kind of interacts.
Did you have to download a profile for that to happen?
I did not. It recognizes the game instantly. And if you have one of the Chroma keyboards, it can do that as well, interacting with the games, which of course you're going to see more things. So if your cooldown is ready, lights will pop up and things like that. But at the end of the day, that's not the stuff that interested me. I really just liked the customization and the hard
it's
top.
nerdy.
But I like that though. I like getting into kind of like,
your
it's
mouse
the next
pad
level,
has a control panel. When does that happen? Never.
It doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. One other complaint I have though with the software is you have to log in with it. You have to create a profile, save on the cloud online with all your settings and shit like that. Like, let me do something locally on my computer. And I think that's a complaint with a bunch of people.
I wondered if they made you create an account to use the software was because so you can go to a friend's house and log in and have all your personalized settings.
Still do it, but you're not going to be able to save your personalized settings without having that online account, which is kind of weird. But everything else with it, like you said, they give you like a cool little box with stickers and like a personalized letter. So they kind of try to make it feel like you're getting this premium product. And I mean, it can be pricey, upwards of $50.
Yeah, the list price on it is $60. It hovers around $50 on Amazon. I mean, which is a lot for a mouse pad. Let's be honest here. But it is cool. It does do some cool stuff. I'm just not sold on the hard surface.
Yeah. But what about the Death Adder?
Yeah,
mouse?
I want to talk about the mouse.
This is my favorite mouse.
Okay,
I've tried so many, and I love the texture. I love the size of it.
I have some opinions about this mouse. So since I built my gaming PC, late last year, I've kind of re-entered the PC gaming world, after having a bit of a big break from it.
Yeah.
And I've tried basically 3 mice.
Yes.
Okay, because I originally had an MSI Steel Series. It's a Steel Series mouse. It's a gaming mouse made by MSI with the Steel Series branding. I actually really liked that mouse. It was a very basic 2-button mouse, but it was very comfortable, and you could adjust the sensitivity on the fly. You could have 2 different DPI settings with a button, okay?
Yep.
And that is actually a pretty good no-frills mouse, okay? And then I tried the Cooler Master mouse because I bought that keyboard combo.
With the Memcanical Devastator.
You're right, the Memcanical keyboard with the mouse for $30. That mouse I didn't like. That was trying to look badass,
but didn't perform well.
It really didn't. It felt like a piece of junk, okay?
Yeah.
And then I got the Death Adder Chroma, okay? So I'm going to tell you right away, it is bigger than the Steel Series I was using, but it was comfortable in my hand.
It's comfortable in mine, and I have small hands.
And the first thing I noticed, though, was the quality of the button click.
Yeah, it's like a tactile feel when you press it.
It feels
I put it
fantastic, right? I love the button click.
Yeah,
right?
I like the noise too, because that's why I like the mechanical keyboards. For
And this thing is totally programmable using the Synapse software.
I had never used the Synapse software with the mouse before, but getting the Firefly had me, launch it up, and I decided to turn it on and max out my, DPI settings or my sensitivity and kind of look into that more. And it was, but I'm saying you don't really need to do the software thing to get the most.
Well, you do with the Chroma though, because you need to be able to set up how the lights
colors.
work.
Yeah.
because there's a gazillion settings for the lights, and you're going to want to play with that, because maybe you have an all red setup and you want it just to be red, right?
Yep.
And maybe you want it to cycle and breathe colors or whatever. You can change all those light settings, which is important to the mouse, because that's the big selling point, or one of them, is this chroma feature.
But if you pick up a Death Adder, if it's not a chroma like I have, I don't why you think you have to go in there and get this Synapse software and log in and do all that. Like it was like good out of the box for me, and then you can go into Windows and just change your sensitivity right there. But this gives you an extra layer of customization and control,
right?
Like you say. So especially with the chroma stuff, which I'm jealous, that you have the chroma version. I've tried a couple of different Razer mice in the past. I have the Hex Naga. I've tried the MMO mouse. I forget the name of it, with 12 buttons. But they some of them have like really slick surfaces that I've hated, and like I love just the texture on this mouse. Like it's not like what I mean.
Yes.
Like have you ever had a plasticky slick surface mouse? And I sort of had a couple of ones I didn't like, but this one's really good.
It feels good. Now it has two buttons on the side that you can program.
Yeah, I wish there was another one.
Well, hang on. Now I have one very specific complaint about this mouse.
Okay.
The mouse wheel feels great.
Yeah.
The mouse wheel has a click. Okay.
Yes, of course.
But it only has one click.
Well, yeah.
No. My other mice have 3 clicks.
Well, they have. It
has left click. It has left click, right click, and center click. So on my Mac right now, I have my Mac, and also I think the MSI mouse did this too. So on my Mac, I have a Microsoft mouse that has a 3-click wheel. Okay, and if I click left and right, it scrolls left and right. Now I use that all the time in Pro Tools and when I'm editing video.
Well, that must be a Mac thing.
No, we're on PC too.
Okay.
So I can scroll left and right with the mouse. And by the way, this is a Microsoft mouse on my Mac. This is actually a PC mouse. So I can scroll left and right with my wheel.
But you wouldn't do that while gaming.
No, you wouldn't gaming.
A gaming product. That's the thing. This is a gaming mouse.
I understand that, but this is a fully featured programmable mouse. And
I don't see that working for gaming though. What I would like to see is a few more buttons on it. Maybe just 1 or 2 more by the under like the thumb.
And but I think it is a very good, well-made mouse that feels right, that has quality buttons. The scroll wheel is good. I haven't really used I'll tell you, I haven't used the 2 side buttons at all.
Oh, I use them tons in games. I mean, you definitely want to map them to melee or reload or something like that. So they're really useful, and I like the position of them, but I could have stood for maybe 1 more under it or something like that. And I know it's a gaming mouse, and they have other ones with 6 buttons and 12 buttons, but I wish, I don't know why they went so bare bones with this one, because like you say, just a few more little things. But this is really just your basic, solid, I think. I think it's the #1 most popular.
It is. If you go on Amazon now, you can get the mouse pad and the mouse for $100.
Yeah, and they go on sale a lot on Amazon. Just go to Slick Deals and set up alerts or something, because I've seen them the whole Razer kit. Often you'll see it half off or something like that. So if you want one of these but you think they're expensive, I would just say watch the price, especially around the holidays or something. You're going to see sales for this sort of stuff. But I kind of don't mind indulging in stuff like this, because I know that I've had this stuff for years, and it's I love investing money in my PC. So it's my hobby, So a lot of people go, why are you paying $50 for a mouse? Well, what's the difference? I could have paid $20 for one and then I don't like it, you know?
But the thing is, or you spend $50 on an Xbox controller. No one would say anything about that. That's your controller.
And I use my mouse for all sorts of stuff, not just gaming. And like you say, so it's not just, that's the thing with PCs. I mean, we're using them to do work. We're using them to, interact with people. We run programs. So I think it's a good investment. But, like I said, I'm jealous of the Chroma stuff because I think it's really you get the most benefit out of it when you have everything and it works together. And that's just sort of the way it is.
I have to tell you, I'm probably going to get the Chroma keyboard now.
You should get it. You should get it. Well, the keyboard is a whole other beast. I mean, you got to go through learning about all the mechanical switches and which color you want and, how loud you want it. Right. Razer doesn't do the cherry blues anymore, which is what I have. I believe they replaced it with their Razer green switches, which are supposed to be as loud, but not technically, official. But I don't know. They make orange stealth silent ones. They make brown keys. So there's this whole array if you get into this world. But I'm very happy with my keyboard. It's just those around me aren't, because it's so super loud. And I know you've heard it on the podcast, but I love this fucking thing. I mean, I beat it to hell. A light has never gone out on me. Nothing has ever broken. Once again, I know people, like I said, we're going to get hate. Probably Razer sucks and lights suck and all this shit. There's two sides of the camp here, but I love it, and I haven't had an issue, so I can't recommend the keyboard enough.
So great. So, all right, so would you recommend the mouse pad and the mouse?
I would recommend the mouse 100%. I think the mouse pad, you have to know what you're getting into. It's not just for everybody. Like, you have to know that it's hard surface and it's going to take a little bit of adjusting. And if you have bracelets like John, you don't want to do it.
Right.
Maybe you'd be better off if you're one of those people who wear like wrist pads or something, like wrist warmers.
Yes.
Like when I could see you, like just take it off and put that on, John. But yeah, I actually have like a little soft mouse rest that I wanted to use once I swapped to this hard surface, because like you say, it does just feel like your arm's on the desk. But I like it. If you're somebody who likes high sensitivity and a lot of like, speed, then I would recommend it completely. What about you?
Well, as far as the mouse pad goes, I'm not a hard mouse pad guy, so
yeah.
I personally am not a fan of it. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I am a fan of the technology and the coolness factor, without a doubt.
It's really big too. We should mention that. Like, it's massive. That's what I like, because I had like a big mouse pad before.
The mouse, I think, is a great mouse. I think there's some features missing from it, like the left-right click on the mouse wheel.
Well, they have tons of other models though,
and also
I think that's where all those features are.
It's missing the on-the-fly DPI switch too.
Yeah.
Because my other two mice, even the cheap Cooler Master one, had that. And when you're playing a first-person shooter and you want to use a sniper rifle, you probably want to change your sensitivity.
Well, I think they have on here, they have profiles you can make, and then you swap the profiles quick on the fly, just with the software. So instead of having a tactile button that you push, they have it done where you make profiles. If you look under the Synapse software for each mouse, and then you can just kind of swap between the profiles very, very easily.
No, but what I'm saying, when you're in the game.
Well, yeah, you can, without tapping out.
So you're playing a first-person shooter.
Right, you just hit a button. That's what I'm saying. They don't. You could macro it to a button, though, is what I'm saying. Like, you could macro it to your keyboard or a button on the mouse. You could do it, but it's all through their software.
Right. But I was using that feature a lot on the Steel series. I really was. When I was playing first, it's like, okay, I'm sniping. Let's change the sensitivity to be a little more sluggish.
Right.
Well,
so
I did like that.
If this mouse isn't for you though, but you do like the shape of it, they have tons that are like a lot like this one, but they have different stuff in them. They've got the Mamba, they have the Abyssus, or I don't know how to pronounce that. They've got the Naga. They've got the Taipan, the Ouroboros, Orochi, all these different mice that kind of have that same razor quality that you recommend, that you like.
That have more of those features, maybe.
Yes, I'm looking at the Mamba, and it's got a bunch more buttons on the side and things like that. This is like their bare bones basic one.
Right.
But for me, I kind of like it, but I have grown to want more through the years, like you say, just like, why doesn't it have another button? Why doesn't it have this? But I still haven't gone and like replaced it.
I can see right now the Mamba has left-right click on the mouse wheel.
Yeah, see, so that might have been something for you.
Because if you look at the Mamba, there's a left arrow and a right arrow next to the mouse wheel. And then there's also buttons below the mouse wheel, which is probably for sensitivity. So it looks like the Mamba is actually the one that I want. So
right, exactly.
I might grab it, so maybe we will. We'll talk about that later.
Grab it, send that one to me.
So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for this. I think they're quality products. You kind of have to decide what features you want and if it's for you. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that, you've got to know what you're getting into. Like, do the research, and don't be shocked if you hate the hard mouse pad like John. But, also you could be pleasantly surprised by, like me. I was leery about it, and now I really like it. And I keep swapping back to my old one. I'm like, ew. This is draggy. This doesn't feel right, So it's like once you get used to it, I think it's kind of a plus.
Yeah. So awesome, guys. Thanks for watching this video review. And be sure to check out our podcast, Video Game Outsiders, at videogameoutsiders.com.
Bye.